Hi, welcome to the F1 Time Portal, a Formula One history podcast by a couple of friends that love Formula One. I'm your host, Rosa.
And I'm your Kodak host, Luigi. And today we are rating drivers from 1975 for our special series, the Time Portal Championship, Part 3. So let's go.
And hello to David. David's back for Part 3.
Hey, Rosa. Hey, Luigi.
Welcome back.
Good to be.
I'm glad you came back after last week and last episode where Luigi got very critical.
Of your delivery.
Delivery's been noted and will be further analysed.
Kodak, Louis. Have they gone out of business now? They went out of business, surely.
Yeah, and when I tell you this next fact about 75, you're going to wonder, as I'm wondering right now, how did they go out of business? Because in 1975, they released their first self-contained digital camera. It captured black and white images and it weighed 8 pounds or 3.6 kilos. So that was also the same year that another company came out with the first digital camera too. So Kodak was at the same time as this other company. But then Kodak, I think there's podcasts and documentaries about this.
Yes.
And I don't know what they did with that tech, but they certainly didn't leverage it.
No,
they were so addicted to their 35mm film business model that they became redundant.
I think that they had a lot of infrastructure invested in the 35mm, like, you know, the shops, the developing shops and the machinery and all of that kind of stuff and their actual cameras. I think they just were too scared of the change.
Yeah, and the mere fact they were up there. Sorry, David?
Yeah, I think also the quality of the picture was far superior with the 35mm than like these days the technology with USB drives and with that is different now. It's way ahead, but back then it was too early to. But they didn't see
the opportunity there to actually keep investing in that tech. Yeah, that's the bit that they missed.
They didn't persist. They didn't keep developing to stay ahead. They probably shut it down. They said, no, the quality of 35mm is so good. And what are we going to do with these 200,000 stores around the world?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
But they probably also stand to make more money. They probably stand to make more money by selling 35mm reels and getting the prints done. And it's a far better business model that way. But you're right. They should have kept developing that technology.
Who was the other company, Louis? Are they still around or not?
No, I didn't take note of the other company because that wasn't as exciting as Kodak. But it was a company called Comnair or something like that, and they don't exist, or they've been bought out many times over, maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Staying still also means you could be out of business.
Just like some of these teams that started the season well, like Shadow, and start to fade a little bit.
Yes.
But they're not fading. They're not fading yet.
But also, I guess what's happening with Lotus in this year, Louis, like they've really gone off their development track and they're trying to recapture the glory of their past cars. So, yeah, interesting to see what happens to them. All right, we're up to Great Britain, race 10. So this is me. This is, again, a bit of a longer one because stuff happens. So bear with me. So Price in the Shadow took a home pole position with Pache second and championship leader Lauda third. Pache beat Price into the first corner with Regazzoni third ahead of Lauda. After 10 laps, Regazzoni passed Price for second and soon both of them passed Pache. It soon began to rain. What a surprise in Great Britain. And Regazzoni was pulling away until he spun off, hit a barrier and damaged his rear wing. He rejoined 2 laps down. Price now led, but he crashed out as well 2 laps later. Scheckter had meanwhile passed both Lauda and Pache, and he was now leading. Scheckter pitted for wet tyres from the lead, and most drivers followed him. Hunt, after passing Pache, was the leader from Pache and Emerson Fittipaldi, as they had not pitted for dries. Scheckter and Jarier both caught and passed the trio, but the track was drying out, and both had to pit for dries soon after. Hunt began to lose power in his engine and was passed by Fittipaldi and then Pache and even a recovering Scheckter. On lap 56 out of 70, the rain fell again. It's actually a hailstorm, I think, in a massive shower with the whole field on dries. Nearly all the drivers spun off and crashed, and the race was stopped. Only 6 drivers were left, notably Fittipaldi. The race was stopped and the results were declared on the lap before the storm struck. I think it took them 3 days to figure that out, didn't they, Louis? Fittipaldi was the winner, and Pache and Scheckter, despite crashing out, were given second and third. Very lucky for them.
After the event.
Okay. Yes.
And Rosa, you might want to tell Mr. Murphy to settle down with his playing. Yeah.
Yeah. No squeaky toys, Murph. All right. So over to you, David.
Okay. Yeah, with this weather that came in all of a sudden, it must have been all of a sudden for them not to know.
It was yeah.
Coming, and so heavy. I feel there were 6 drivers left, and I feel that the 6 drivers that were left should have those places because they were the ones slowing down, being careful, driving to the conditions and not crashing or not coming off the track. So out of those drivers that were left, I given my third place to Andretti because he actually finished third before they called it from the lap before. Jones did finish second from the 6 that were left. He's my second place. And Fittipaldi was first. So obviously he had the great skill to get there in the end and keep it on the track. So yeah, that's the way I sort of felt with this one. Not all the drivers crashed.
That's an interesting take.
6 were still left. Yeah.
I agree with him. But you know what's weird about it? Do you want to go first on that, Rosa? Or
no, you can go. Like I hadn't even thought of it. Like when I was totaling up all the thing, I thought, why did he pick Jones and Andretti? And I went, oh, I see what he's done.
Yeah, it's interesting that he's followed what the race review is. But when I look at the race results, it's got Emerson Fittipaldi first, and I'll skip the next 3 drivers that have got asterisks because the asterisk is not running at finish. The next driver that is running at finish, according to the Mike Lang book, is Brambilla in 6th. So theoretically, is he the one that should have got second according to the David rule?
Well, yes, but
what happened to those guys,
notes.
Jones and Andretti versus Brambilla? That's what I'm curious about. Because Jones is classified as 10th. Like to give you, if I tell you the top 4 without the asterisks, it's Fittipaldi first, Brambilla second, Lauda third, Jones 4th, Andretti 5th. So I think Brambilla must have been ahead of them, and maybe that's a missed opportunity for the gorilla.
Yes.
Gorilla. Yeah, but I liked what you tried to do there, David. It's good. It's very, very creative. Yep.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay, thank you.
And also it got Jones in. Australian, Jones, good.
There you go. I had third the race officials. So it took them 3 days to sort out the race results. 3 days.
Okay.
And this was before computers, really. So this would have been a whole lot of hand charts and things like that, you know. It would have been tough. And I wonder if they earned overtime because they wouldn't have been expected to work 3 more days. I'm sure they got more money. I gave Pache equal third as well. He qualified up there and finished second. So I'm calling him a survivor, even though it's against what David said. David has convinced me I should have gone with the other drivers.
Yes.
I acknowledge he shouldn't have got that.
So another equal placing, a dual placing.
David,
an illegal equal placing.
This is better than what we normally get from Luigi. You're going to have to let it go.
At least they're equal points. Normally I can go 2-1-1. You know, that goes up to 4.
For third place, right. I give Andretti 60% of the third place.
Yeah,
and then,
that's right. He's created 40%. Like a 4th place previously.
I've learned to settle down in that regard. So, yes. I gave Scheckter second. And again, I'm conceding to David, maybe he doesn't really deserve second, but he sort of does because he was twice leading this race. And it must have been awesome for him to carve past those slick shod tyres in the wet to take the lead back because that had just been helpless watching him go past, you know. That would have been fun to watch and it would have been fun as a driver to do. And first, like I think Fittipaldi driving in very difficult conditions to claim what I would call a complicated win. So, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to go from 1 to 3 because my notes sort of make more sense. I've given Fittipaldi first because it was good skill to drive in those conditions and take the win with the pit stops and everything and the crashing out, like to just stay on track and be in a position to take albeit a bit of a contrived win was still good skills. I've given Scheckter second. I just felt like he did all the right things at the right time. Like he went in for slick or wets, and then he went in for dries, and then he did all the right things, and then that hailstorm kind of just destroyed his race and other people as well. But he actually did the right things at the right time. And same with Pache. I felt like he also did the right things at the right time, going in and changing tyres. And yeah, I could see how they were given the positions when they did. I've put them the wrong way around, but as you said, Louis, Scheckter was leading twice. So that was my reasoning for it. But I do like David's thinking, I must admit.
I wonder if we are Kodak and David's that other camera company. Camerani or whatever it was called.
Yeah, that's right, exactly.
Yeah, we didn't see the truth that was coming.
We didn't see the truth, that's right.
So, Luigi, you'll be pleased to know Ferrari and Lauda didn't get any points this round.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
No.
He did finish 8th in the race, 1 lap down. So I wouldn't call this the round of Ferrari, but they've had a lot of good rounds, so they can't complain too hard.
So Lauda is stuck on 114 points, although that's not a bad position to be in because he's way ahead of Fittipaldi, who's on 71. Scheckter is 3rd on 60 and Hunt is 4th on 56.
Okay, and Jario's in 7th with 37. Yeah. So we're up to race 11, the German Grand Prix. This is at the Nürburgring. Lauda was on pole, lapping the circuit in under 7 minutes, becoming the first driver to accomplish this feat, and it was a big deal apparently, I think it is. Pache was on the front row, and the 2 Tyrrell drivers of Scheckter and Depailler were 3rd and 4th respectively. At the start, Lauda led from Pache, with Depailler getting 3rd from his teammate. Scheckter, the other Tyrrell, who made a dreadful start and dropped to 20th. So, okay, there you go, Rosa. We didn't talk about nonsense starts. I think there's one. That's a nonsense one. Yeah, solid nonsense.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Depailler was past Pache early on, but by midway through the race, both drivers were out of contention. Pache retiring with a puncture and Depailler having to pit after suspension failure. Lauda continued to lead, with Regazzoni up to 2nd until the latter's engine failed. Lauda then suffered a puncture and damaged a rear spoiler and had to pit, leaving Reutemann to lead from Hunt and Price. Hunt was next to retire, as everyone took turns to lead and retire, with a wheel hub failure on the straight behind the pit, and Price took 2nd, but only briefly, as he had to back off towards the end with fuel feed problems. At the front, Reutemann took his first win of the season, with Lafitte's Williams 2nd, which was like a bit of an out-of-the-blue result, and Lauda recovering to 3rd. Over to you, David, your top 3 and why.
Okay. Interesting Price's issues with the fuel feed. It actually was a fuel feed problem. It was feeding him in his face because the fuel was actually leaking and spraying all over his face. So
yes.
That is an issue with fuel feeding. I do agree. So I've given that place to him, 3rd place, for getting the podium finish amongst all that fuel. That's horrible.
He came 4th. He didn't get podium.
Oh,
he was looking at a podium.
My notes do say looking at he was looking at a podium finish. So yeah, if it wasn't for the fuel, and I could say my 3rd place, I split into 2 and put Price as half and the fuel as the other half, because together they achieved this 3rd point.
The fuel and Price together, yeah.
In 2nd, I put Lafitte, his first points that he's achieved, and he achieved that by coming 2nd. So he didn't come 8th or 6th or anything like that. His first points finish was a 2nd place. So very well done. And Reutemann I've put in 1st. A great first win for the season. And he did start below 5th place. I'm not sure where he started, but I know he started below 5th.
Reutemann, he started 10th.
10th, wow. Okay.
Good result.
Yeah, very good.
Okay. I was going to say one quick comment about Lafitte getting his first points in 2nd place. I don't know how many other drivers their first points was 2nd place. I don't know how many there are, but there is one I happen to remember. Do you guys remember the sort of a recent-ish era driver, maybe
Russell?
10 years ago? No, it was Magnussen.
Okay.
Jan Magnussen, on his debut, his F1 debut with McLaren, he came 2nd at this Melbourne Grand Prix. And that was his best F1 result in his career on his debut.
It was all downhill from there.
No, it sounds a bit depressing, but he had a long career considering.
Yeah, very long career.
Yeah. So I had Reutemann in 3rd. equal third place with Lafitte because he won the race and survived the drama. So he gets 2 points for winning the race. And Lafitte gets equal third as well for his first F1 points and in a Williams team, which is their own chassis, and they're not a top level team either. They're like a Haas. I call them a Haas of 2025 as well. I put Price in second, burning skin and blinded by fuel, and still finished fourth. Yes, he was easily going to finish third and maybe even better. So that's impressive. And I gave Lauda the win because he broke the 7-minute barrier and should have won if not for the car issue that he faced. So I feel like I'm righting the wrongs, and that's why I've got Reutemann not in first, is down in equal third with Lafitte. And before we give feedback, I was just going to say, David, good delivery on your last one.
On the whole three?
Yeah, all three. Yes.
Oh, okay, great.
The Price,
good.
You added a little bit of zest to Price. That was great.
Okay, we're making progress. Okay.
Well, I've taken your principles there, Luigi, and I've gone even further with it because I've left Reutemann totally out of my tips.
Oh, really? I struggled in. Yeah, you left him out. Brutal.
I just totally left him out. I felt like he was Johnny on the spot a little bit, like he inherited. I mean, so many people in the lead ended up retiring and leaving the lead to him. So, but anyway, I gave my third spot to Lafitte. 15th, he started, to second.
Wow, yeah.
And he did well to finish on a tough track. Like, this is the Nürburgring. So, and there was a lot of stuff going down with punctures and things. I gave Price my second spot, similar to you guys. It was a loose fuel cap, David. So someone didn't put the fuel cap properly. And so it was...
Twist it a little bit more, like one little, turn.
So someone should have got fired for that, or at least suspended. I don't know who that was. And yeah, I don't know, maybe you and I, Luigi's just been taken away with the Lauda romanticism, but record pole time, and then he got that puncture and he recovered to finish to third. I just thought I liked that from Lauda, so I gave him my first. So yeah, I left Reutemann totally out, which...
Yeah. Well, you've made me think two things. Like, you put Lafitte third. I put Lafitte equal third with Reutemann. Having reminded me that he went from 15th to second, I think he deserves second.
Yeah, okay.
To be honest, he deserves second place, not third. For being up there in that Williams. So even I regret him being a bit low.
So David got him right. There you go. David put him second. Yeah,
he did.
Yeah.
And I was going to mention comment about they're not going to fire you for not twisting that fuel cap on. But you know what they will do? This is 75. Okay, let's say it's mechanic Jono. Okay, Jono, we're handing out the cigarette packs at the end of the race weekend. All the mechanics get 5 packs. He gets 4. That's what happens to him. Yeah. It's his punishment for not twisting it on properly.
Yeah. Or he has to sweep out the garage or something. He has to mop the floors. Gets the crappy jobs for a while.
And less cigarettes. Right. And less cigarettes.
Yeah, and less cigarettes. Yeah. All right. So after race 11, we have Lauda. He got a few more points this time, thanks to me and Louis. He's on 130. Fittipaldi's second on 71. Scheckter third on 60. And Hunt fourth on 56. There you go. All right. So we're off to Austria. Very large attendance here, as Lauda had a chance of getting close to the championship or winning the championship at his home race. Lauda didn't disappoint the home crowd, and he took pole position with Hunt second and Fittipaldi third. His chief rival Reutemann, well, not on ours, but in the real life, was only 11th. On a morning practice lap, though, Mark Donohue's March slid off the track after a tyre failure and hit 2 marshals. Donohue died 2 days later, and one of the marshals also died. It began to rain just before the race started, but it did not deter Lauda, who led from Hunt and Depailler. Depailler soon dropped back, and it was Brambilla in the March who was up to third. Lauda also began to struggle as the rain became heavier, and Hunt took the lead and Brambilla second on lap 15. Brambilla went to take the lead from Hunt 4 laps later when they were lapping a back marker, whereas Price passed Lauda for third. Conditions became so bad that the organisers showed the checkered flag early. With Brambilla the winner, he spun off on the slowdown lap and crashed. He recovered and drove to the pits, waving to the fans with a badly damaged car. Hunt second and Price completing the podium. Only half points were given as the race was stopped early, just like in Spain. Over to you, David.
Okay. In my third place, I've got Price. He displayed good driver skill in the tough conditions, And he did pass Lauda to achieve that. In second, I've got Hunt. Once again, a gutsy, wet race drive. He does have that raw talent, and it shows. It's very obvious in the wet. And in first, I've got Brambilla for his first win, and to do it in the tough conditions is very, very good, I believe. A silly bit of brain lapse at the end while he was waving to the crowd. He lost control. Obviously, a big moment for him, winning his first race. So first place for me is Brambilla.
Okay, no comments other than they're good picks.
No,
because they're the same as mine. So I had Price third, always up there in that shadow. He's a real talent. He's overshadowed Jarier now. Shadow, funny, yeah.
Yes, yeah, very funny.
Yeah, I had Hunt in second, just a strong dive to second place, and Brambilla, not just for winning the race and his only race win of his career, but also being the oldest on the grid at 37, and also that great move passing Hunt and the back marker, which was the basis upon which he got the win. So it was very clever driving. And what I normally do acknowledge people that pass, but for some reason I must have forgotten that routine of mine, but special mention to Donahue and that Marshall that passed in the race.
Yes.
Or not the race, the race weekend, I mean.
I had the same drivers, but my order is a bit different. I actually downgraded Hunt to third. The fact that he was stuck behind that back marker for like 6 laps, I think, in the end.
I think it was two extra, and it took him 2 laps to pass the back marker that Brambilla passed him and the back marker in one swift move. Yeah,
yes.
So 2 laps. But 2 laps of bad, right?
That is bad.
Was there blue flags?
So
There were actually. We find out later in the season that they do use blue flags.
Yeah, there are blue flags. That's right.
But it seems like it becomes serious after about 6 laps.
Yes.
And that'll make sense later.
So I've downgraded Hunt. I've put Price up into second. Great driving to get past Lauda for third in tough conditions, and Brambilla first. I mean, what a race for him. Like I said, he'd been threatening it for a while. Deserved first place in my books. All right. So Lauda on 130. I don't think he got any points this race. No. Hunt on 72, now second. Fittipaldi third on 71 and Scheckter fourth on 60. Reutemann is fifth on 49.
Yeah.
So
I'll say one thing. Lauda's got nearly double the points of Hunt, not far off, 130 to 72. If ever there's a time to say I'll skip a race, it's about now. Not at the beginning of the season, Fittipaldi.
Yeah.
Like you do it when you've got like double the points of the next guy. Yeah, okay, I can do it. Yeah. I can show them I'm the boss.
We've not been kind to Reutemann. Like in the real championship, Reutemann's second.
Oh, is he?
No,
yeah, you're right.
He's second. Yeah.
And you were criticizing me earlier in the season when I was giving him points for being up there. And now you're saying, maybe we were wrong. Maybe Luigi was right all along.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that at all. All right, we're off to Italy, Louis.
Okay, the home of the gorilla. So the penultimate round was in Italy after the cancellation of the Canadian race, and Lauda needed only half a point to be declared the 75 world champion. Ferrari fans were very happy as their team locked out the front row with Lauda on pole and Regazzoni in second, and Fittipaldi was third. Regazzoni took the lead at the start with Lauda and Mass following. Soon Reutemann was up to third, but he needed to win to keep any faint hopes alive. However, he was passed by Fittipaldi, and towards the end, Lauda backed off and let Fittipaldi through. I think it was managing his car at that point. It was Regazzoni who won the race with Fittipaldi second, and Lauda's third was enough to seal the championship. All he needed was half a point. He didn't care what Reutemann did, I guess. So, over to you, David, your top 3 and why.
Okay. In third place, I've put Fittipaldi. I feel it was a well-deserved second, although Lauda did let him through, but Fittipaldi was able to keep his car together and he managed to finish there. So my second place is another team nomination. So with Ferrari being world champions, I've given them second place for being so dominant during the season. And in first place, I've got Regazzoni. He took the lead from the start and never gave it up. So, that's my 3 there.
Yeah, good picks. Yeah, I had third Lauda. He came third with a damaged car. He did enough to take the title. You know, I don't think this is his greatest ever win, but he knew what he needed to do to win a championship. Ferrari second. First championship of a driver's title since 61 and the first constructors since 64. So it's been a very long time between drinks. And it's days like this that Ix, who walked out on them at the end of 73, would be wishing he never left that team, because this could have been his championship, I have to say. Ix was that sort of, if Ix against Regazzoni, you'd put Ix ahead of Regazzoni, I think. So, yeah.
Regazzoni also started at Ferrari, left to BRM, and then came back to Ferrari. So, good on you.
So Regazzoni first. Regazzoni couldn't beat Lauda. That's all he had to do, and he didn't do it. Yeah, so Regazzoni does get my first pick, though, because at this race, he did a great start to take the lead from second on the grid and went on to win on home soil, which was, I guess, is a dream come true for a nearly Italian driver.
Yeah. Well, I had Lauda third. I said the same as you. He did enough to win. He didn't have to fight. I mean, Fittipaldi was I put Fittipaldi second. So Fittipaldi was challenging him and he just let him through. He didn't have to take on the fight and potentially get knocked out. So, yeah, and then I put Regazzoni first. Good win on his own on a home track for Ferrari. And I think he won here last year, Louis, as well.
I think it was 1970. It was a long time ago.
Was it? Okay.
No, yeah. I don't think he won in 74. I think
he was the last Ferrari driver to win at Ferrari as well, the race.
Yeah.
At
Monza.
At Monza. Yeah. So he backed it up again. So that's good on him. All right. So with one race left, Lauda is in the lead on 138. Fittipaldi second on 81. Hunt third on 72. Scheckter fourth on 60. All right.
And Jarier now on 8th on 37. He's slipping down.
Right. He's slipping down, yep. Okay, so we're on the last race of the season and it's in the USA, and it was no surprise that at the spectacular Watkins Glen track in New York, which had a new chicane at the S's introduced, and this was recommended by Scheckter, so it was called the Scheckter chicane. We did talk about how that's not really a great thing to have named after you, but anyway.
Yeah, it's like a barrier. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. And new world champion Lauda took pole again with Fittipaldi alongside and Reutemann third. They go into this race, Ferrari, having never won here, and neither has a world champion ever won here. So it was lots of
the world champion of the world champion of the present year. That season,
yeah. So Lauda led into the first corner from Fittipaldi, and it was Jarier in third. Lauda and Fittipaldi drove away from the rest of the field, whereas Jarier retired with a wheel failure, 1/3 into the race. Lauda's teammate Regazzoni was caught by the leaders on lap 18 after his lengthy pit stop. He let Lauda by, but held up Fittipaldi for 6 laps, despite blue flags being waved to indicate that he should be let through. Eventually, Regazzoni was black flagged and brought in for a warning on lap 24. Ferrari manager Luca Di Montezemolo instructed Regazzoni to continue the race, but withdrew him from the race in protest just 4 laps later. Hunt was in third, but Mas had other ideas and took the place midway through the race. Lauda went on to win, his 5th of the season, as he signed off in style, with Fittipaldi close behind in second, and Mas also on the podium.
I just wanted to mention very quickly that when you reminded me about they withdrew him from the race, I wondered what he was classified as in the record books. And it just says withdrawn on lap 29. Whereas other drivers, it's gearbox on lap accident on lap But no, it's just withdrawn on lap 29. So yeah, it sits on the record books. Yeah, it's in the record books.
There you go. Yes. Okay.
Okay, with my picks, I've got Fittipaldi in third place. He got the fastest lap, but I feel it was very hard for him because he didn't stand a chance against the Ferrari team tactics with him being held up for 6 laps by
Regazzoni.
Yeah. In second place, I've got Ferrari for building a reliable competitive car for the season. So this is kind of a throwback to the season. Last opportunity to do that in points. So yeah, they did produce a good car, and yeah, if Regazzoni was able to finish, then he probably would have been on the podium. And then I've got Lauda in first. Strong race once again from him, dominating. And yeah, they're my 3 picks. No splits in the picks there. They're all just 1, 2, and 3.
He's going to do so many splits in his future races now, isn't he?
Yeah,
He's
I
gonna
know.
go crazy.
He is. He's going to choose like 18
His mind's
drivers.
been blown.
Oh,
considering he was... Sorry?
I'm going to introduce percentages in those splits. So there'll be a 60-40, 70-30.
Don't you dare.
David thinks it's all great. Now that we've called him that digital camera company that outdid Kodak, he's like, he thinks he can do anything now with his picks.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's the way of the future. Don't ignore it. It's the way of the future.
Yeah, if you don't go with me on this, you've got your Kodak. Yeah, so my top 3 are the same. No, they're different. They look a bit similar. They're quite different actually. Regazzoni in third. The guy did the wrong thing and heavily blocked Fittipaldi for 6 laps. But I do want to acknowledge he did this off his own back. There's no radios. I don't think the Ferrari team would have put out a sign saying hold him up. He just did it out of instinct. And got to recognize the unethical initiative, And the funny thing, the reason why I've given him third and why I'm calling it funny is there was no driver championship on the line. There was no constructors championship on the line. I don't quite know if Regazzoni was even fighting with Fittipaldi for a position in the championship. Do you know what I mean? Like, was he trying to be 4th instead of 5th or something?
But is it payback for the season or something? Maybe something happened during the season and he's just sort of
probably
getting even or something.
I know.
And get even when there's no consequences, if you know what I mean. It's all about ego. So yeah, I reckon you might be onto something. It makes sense.
I am frankly surprised at you doing this, Luigi. Like, you are Mr. Ethical Underpants. Like, what the hell? I am absolutely going to remind you of this in 1980 something.
All I can say, but he did it when it didn't matter. So that's what makes it okay. If it matters, it's not okay. Just saying.
It's still the same thing.
You have to do the right thing even when it doesn't matter. Even when that's what ethics is, right? Ethics is about behaving with with principles even when no one's looking.
It's like pushing someone off the track.
I am absolutely going to pin this moment. I'm building up an arsenal of arguments with you.
This is different. Yeah, David.
It's like pushing someone off the track and saying, "Oh, that's okay because he wasn't going for first or second. He was only in 10th place, so it doesn't really matter."
That's
okay. But you know what? Let's say a championship decided with a couple of races to go. Then normally you see some pretty exciting races because no one's caring anymore. They're just going for it. Unless someone's fighting for second or third, they normally just go for it. And I'm just acknowledging this end of season. This is like last week of school, the last week of work before Christmas break. You know what I mean?
Look, I agree with you. I love this. I mean, but I've loved it for a long time with people who have done it repeatedly in history. You haven't. Like, you're the other guy. So,
but it didn't say Regazzoni ran him off the track. He just didn't let him.
Held him up.
No, he blocked him.
He just held him up. It's different. It's different to running someone off the track. Right. Yeah.
Okay.
So I had Fittipaldi in second. He perhaps could have won this if not for Regazzoni's blocking tactics, and to be honest, probably would have won it. And Lauda won the race, even if Regazzoni massively helped him. So Lauda still did the job as was required, and he broke that record that everyone was talking about. Apparently, that's probably the only excitement they wanted to give to the race was can Lauda win it, the only champion of all time. Blah blah blah.
First Ferrari win here too, so that's something.
Yeah, big media.
Yeah. I gave exactly the same tips as you, Louis, except my reasons were a bit different. Regazzoni, I said, oh dear, but sort of liked it. So, I mean, I just, Fittipaldi, I agree. He could have won. Given how much he caught up to Lauda in the end, like I think the lead was something like 12 seconds and he cut it down to 5 over 12 laps. So I think he could have won. Lauda... good win. I think in the notes, it actually says that he extended his lead even though Regazzoni helped him, which I don't understand because Fittipaldi actually caught up. But anyway, I think he still would have won, I think, but it would have been perhaps a bit closer.
Would have been an exciting finish. It would have been. He stopped us from having an exciting finish. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. So the end of our TP championship, we have Lauda crowned as the people's champion on 162 points. Fittipaldi second on 97. Hunt third on 72, which is interesting because we got the first two right.
We should cover the first. I think we should cover the first 6 because.
All right. So where did I finish? Hunt is third on 72. Scheckter fourth on 60. Reutemann fifth on 49 and Brambilla sixth on 45.
Yeah, and Brambilla finished 11th with 6.5 points. he finished 11th with just 6.5 points. We rated him well above the results.
We loved him. We loved the gorilla. Yes. Yeah, and Reutemann actually finished. Yeah, Reutemann actually finished third and we had him fifth.
Yeah,
and the other one is Regazzoni. Regazzoni finished fifth and we had him 10th.
We punished him.
And where did Ferrari finish?
They were constructors champions.
They were constructors. Yeah, Ferrari finished constructors on 72.5 and Brabham was second.
What did we give Ferrari on our team?
We don't do constructors. We don't do constructors.
But we tipped them in our tips.
Oh, we gave them 24 points, so they're 12th.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
12th, yeah. One thing I was going to mention as an observation of you, Rosa, is everyone knows that Rosa has a love thing with Dennis Holm, and he retired at the end of 74. Was it end of 74 he retired?
Yeah, he did. Yes, he did.
And Carlos Reutemann really put in a big campaign to be the reliable, steady driver that Rosa loves. But she didn't turn to him. She wasn't turned on by Reutemann. She was turned on by Holm, but not Reutemann.
Yeah. I think this is a different era. I think Holm turned on the reliability in an era where it was important, whereas in this era, it is about being a bit more risk-takey and a bit fast. And yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's as important to be consistent in this era. You have to be fast.
Okay.
That's what I think anyway.
Interesting. But we crown... Is this Lauda's first one? Did he win 74?
Yes.
This is his second championship. Let me have a look. I'm having a quick look at the end of 74. I'm sure we gave it to Lauda. Yeah, we did. Lauda won it easily.
Yeah, okay.
Regazzoni, not that far behind. Regazzoni was second. So we really...
Yes.
Regazzoni went off a cliff, I think. But this is Lauda's second world championship according to TP.
Okay. Yeah, I think we've righted the wrongs. I think he deserved to at this point.
Yep.
And everyone's waiting to see what happens in 76 though, aren't we?
I know.
Yeah, crazy political year.
Yes. All right. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up.
I think we've done well. Yeah.
That was very fun. Good. David, I hope you join us again.
Thank you.
This time,
I really enjoy it. Yes. And to the seasons
we'll
ahead.
See some interesting tipping from you possibly.
Yes, I'll add some extra strategies in my tipping. I've learned some valuable lessons today. I'll take them all on board.
Right. Rosa, audit his before we go live.
Okay, yes.
Okay, bye everyone.
All right, thank you. See ya.